So I want you guys to think about what's in your refrigerator. Let's to illustrate the point, let's look up a stock image of a refrigerator. So it might look something. Let's open in a new tab. Oh, no, I just want to look at the file. There we go. It might look something like this. This looks remarkably healthy to me. And remarkably well organized, and those fruit don't look like they have aged a day off the vine. Um, but yeah, you might have something like this. So what do we have in here? We have fruits, vegetables, meats that we eat, right? Um, so I want us to think, because we're going to be talking about issues related to the value of life. I want you to think about what it is that makes life valuable. And one sort of way of judging that might be considering the boundary when life becomes not valuable anymore. Um, so all of the things in your refrigerator, maybe at one point or another, were alive. Um, right? Fruits and vegetables came from trees, the meats came from animals, and we killed these things to eat them, right? At least in the case of meat, it's like, well, you pretty much have to kill the animal to get the meat. You can get eggs and dairy without killing the animal, right? That would be the inefficient way to get eggs and dairy. Um, but the meat, you kill the animal for. Vegetables, you kind of have to dig up the plant. Fruits, you kind of pluck it, so it's you're not killing the whole tree or whatnot. But vegetables, you often are. So a um, a question that we want to ask is, what makes it okay to sort of kill and eat various life forms, some life forms, but not others. So we at least in the modern and Western world, we don't eat. We typically don't eat humans, and we typically think that killing humans is a wrong somehow, right? So humans are worthy of moral consideration in some way that the stuff in our refrigerator is not. So we want to ask ourselves, why is that? Why can I kill the cow but not a human? Is it because we ourselves are humans? Is that all that it is? It's some kind of like bias for ourselves? Um, or is it something special about humans? Um, for that matter, why is it okay to kill the cow but not this cat that I'm petting right now? So like a lot of us, so don't look at your refrigerator maybe, but go look at your pet and think about the fact that some cultures eat that animal. So you might have a cat, you might have a dog. Um, I don't know, you may have a gerbil, some kind of a rodent. Some cultures eat those things, and not even I mean, some cultures eat those things today, even. Uh, but we would probably be really upset if somebody ate our cat. Um, Interestingly enough, we might not be upset if somebody ate our cow. Why would that be? Um, I say that as long as they paid us for the steak, right? Um, why is that? Like, so cats and cows both are mammals. Um, Cats and cows both have somewhat sophisticated behavior. It's not like cows are super dumb compared to cats. I'm not even sure they are. I'm not sure. We'd have to look at sort of like what animals are more intelligent than others. There may be resources for that. Maybe we can look that up. Like a scale of animal intelligence. Does Wikipedia have anything on that? Animal cognition. Maybe I can find a scale. Oh, list of animals by number of neurons. This is exactly what I want. All right. So number of neurons, that's like size of your brain. So if we do it based on sheer number of cells in our brain, which cells in our brain is not going to be identical to intelligence, but it's going to have some relationship to intelligence, perhaps. So if we go based on this, we should probably treat elephants really well because they have more than double our number of neurons. We have about 4 times that of a chimpanzee. I mean, does that mean we should treat every chimpanzee as 1/4 of a human? Does that mean we should treat a human as a half of an elephant? We probably wouldn't like that. Do we have more animals? I want to see more animals on this chart, but it looks like we don't have that many. Maybe there's here we go. So here's a table that looks like goes from sponge, which is like sponges are some of the most primitive animals, right? Sponge all the way up to orcas. So orcas, it looks like, have zillions, huh? So where's cat and cow on this list? Because those are the ones that I just mentioned. Cat. A cat gecko? No, a cat. Okay, so here's a cat. What about a cow? So a cat has 700 million. Cattle is, we can't do cow. Can we do horse? Horse has over 1 billion. So actually a horse has a bigger mental capacity than a cat. I don't know if we treat horses better than cats. I'm not sure. I know that we certainly treat them differently. What about a pig? Pigs. No. Pig, not pig-nosed turtle. A guinea pig. No. A pigeon. Well, a pigeon has 300,000. What did we say a cat has? A cat has 7, or not 300,000, but 300 million. A cat has 700 million. So a cat is 2 pigeons ish. So what am I doing here? I'm trying to point out that if we value life, we value it based on something. And if we value different life differently, so we value cats differently from cows, cats differently from pigeons, cats differently from humans. Are you offended? If we do that, to be consistent about it, we want to ground that differential treatment. We want to ground it in something. We want to ground it like in some kind of a fact of the matter about what makes these different creatures different. And if we can't find anything that's convincing, then we sort of might want to question what we're doing. So this is one possible way of valuing things, right? So this is number of neurons as a proxy of intelligence. I don't know if that means anything to you guys, but it's one way we might justify differential treatment. But if it is the way we justify differential treatment, then we want to be consistent about that too. So we want to actually be worried about animals according to how intelligent they are, perhaps, and then we're going to have to start thinking, okay, well, maybe we should treat some animals differently because actually they're very intelligent. So let's find some interesting animals that are more intelligent than cats. So it looks like dogs are, but we treat dogs rather well. Looks like ravens are as intelligent as dogs, possibly, if the neuron proxy holds. Um, that's kind of interesting. Maybe we should be treating ravens a lot better. Pigs are as smart as dogs, looks like. Pigs have about 2 billion neurons, dogs have about 2 billion neurons. But we eat pigs but not dogs. That doesn't that doesn't really make sense actually, right? Because if we're doing it based on intelligence and pigs pigs and dogs are the same intelligence, but we eat one and not the other, then we're doing something kind of inconsistent there. Maybe we're being unfair to pigs. Maybe we're being unfair to dogs. Maybe we should eat more dogs and less pigs. Something like this. Um, do you approve, Kitty? Um, yeah. And it looks like we can do this consideration with a lot of other animals, right? All right. So the reason I'm talking about all this is because I want you to be thinking about the value of life, and to do that we have to like consider where the boundaries of that value are, what the conditions of that value are. It's all well and good to say life is valuable, sure, but like I scratch my arm and I kill thousands of cells, thousands of my own cells. That's life. I'm killing my own cells. I'm killing that. So we don't think that it's bad that I scratched my arm, but why do I get to just kill cells like that? There's something there. There's some principle by which I'm saying, yeah, I can value some life and not others. So what is that? That's what I want you guys to be considering in the various issues that we're discussing this week.